Today is an exciting day. The sun is blue, no, the sky is blue, the sun is out, and I have a box. We all know days where I have a box are the best days. Now this is a box, and I thought in advance, pre-planning these things, I brought the scissors upstairs so I can scissor this thing open. Sort of stab at it until it, no, that's stupid. That's stupid. Open, always. Here's a fun tip before I get into the actual tips. When sizzling things open, don't sizzle all the way in. You might destroy the thing you've received in the mail. Look at that. Oh! Exciting. It's a thing, everybody. It's a thing. More specifically, 3 things. 2 mouses and a desk pad. Now, 1 of these is for me, 2 are for you. Ooh, for gamers and artists, fresh and addictive, pops your personality for right and left hands. Oh yes, try it, you'll like it. Wow, 1 millisecond response time. Ooh, I'll explain. I did this. Let me, look at this. Let me explain. Scissors, don't need you anymore. Yeah, I can just pull it out. That's what she said. Ooh. Brilliant, brilliant, so much brilliant. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put this like Stonehenge. Can you even see this? I don't know. Let's do Stonehenge over here. Stonehenge! Stonehenge, look at that. Look at that. It's a wobbly Stonehenge. I've been to Stonehenge. Stonehenge isn't that far away from here. Stonehenge. And that is an identical replica of Stonehenge. Just look at that. That's Stonehenge. Anyway, what is multiplier on about? Multiplier, I think if you remember from a few seconds ago, said that 2 of these things are for you, and that's entirely true. This company here, which I will not attempt to pronounce, say the name of, because I'm really bad at reading things, and it's a Swedish company. This company here, they sent me these things because they are awesome. Website, it's just really cool looking stuff for gamers and artists. It says artists, but I call it artistes. So for gamers and artists. Let's read the back. We can read the back. Look at that! Look at that! How cool is that? It's just beautiful. It's really cool. I like it. So this one is for me, and these ones are for you. How cool is that? How cool is that? So you can have these if you, I'll tell you about that towards the end of the video, after the tips. After the tips, I'll tell you how you can get your hands on these. Dangerous. It's like a game. Ooh, that's dangerous. Anyway, beautiful products and very well reviewed as I checked them out on the internet. So I have 3 tips for you. I've got the right number of fingers there, that's good. 3, I need to put this. These can be, each one of these can be symbolic of a tip. So 3 tips: music studio efficiency, creativity tips. I'll probably create better words for the title, less many words. Tip number 1, ergonomics. Now, ergonomics is sort of things like how comfortable and how natural your hand is on a mouse. So how you're sat in a chair and where you're reaching for things, and ergonomics. Is there a definition? Are we still recording? Here you go. I found a better definition. The first one was a bit too broad. So ergonomics is the study of how equipment and furniture can be arranged in order that people can do work and other activities, such as making music or other things, more efficiently and more comfortably. It's a hard word to say. Comfortably. So more efficient and more comfortable. That's ergonomics. And it's, in all seriousness, not something to overlook. Now, there's 2 ways to approach this now. On the efficiency and Bird, what's it doing? Complete maniac. Anyway, efficiency and comfort. First of all, you want to make sure you're efficient in the studio. You want to make sure everything's at arm's reach and you're not sort of going, oh, I want to use my Ableton push. Because that's not very efficient. Also, it's not very comfortable. If you're not comfortable, then the lizard part of you know how your brain's made of different parts? The mammalian brain, the lizard brain, and another bit, I think, something like that. Anyway, there's a bit of your brain, the lizard part of the brain, that deals with more physical, so not the deep emotional part, but the physical side of your experience. So stuff like if I poke you in the head, that will be well, I suppose that would probably trigger both responses. It would trigger the lizard part of your brain as you feel someone poking you in your head, and that'd be annoying because the sensation of someone poking you in the head, that will be like, what are you doing? Stop poking me in the head. But then you might also actually, your mammalian part of your brain, your emotion, might get angry and be angry at me for poking you in the head. Anyway, what's a better example? Let's say someone pokes you and you're not one to get annoyed by it. Someone poking you will still register in your brain, the lizard part of your brain, and that'll be using brain resources and kind of distracting you. Every time someone's poking you, it's going to be taking you a little bit out of what you're doing. It's why if you've ever tried to, say, work at a coffee shop and then a kid's going, Rah! It's really, really difficult, so don't do that. Anyway, so what's my point? Oh yeah, so comfort. So if you're in the studio and your back's hurting and my hand's hurting because I'm using a silly little mouse, or the Apple mouse for the Apple computer, which is useless. If you're using a mouse that's, oh no, it's hurting my hand, that will take you out of your creativity and stop you wanting to work for a long time too. Same with reaching over for Ableton pushes and stuff. So, computer mice, you want these to be comfortable and also efficient, ergonomics. So don't overlook them. Was it Mr. Bill talking about it? People have talked about it before. Anyway, it's a really important thing. You want to make sure you're efficient and you're working fast so you can stay creative and capture that creative idea and work for as long as you need to work, and also be comfortable. So the lizard part of your brain is not going crazy with uncomfortable feelings. Efficiency and comfort, that's ergonomics. Don't overlook the value of it when making your studio or just sort of arranging your studio space. Anyway, point number 2 for music studio setup, advice, tips, things. Point number 2. Clicking efficiency. So, I mean, that was me being a bit silly, but clicking efficiency, in all seriousness, is super important. So there are 2 dimensions to this. First of all, a dimension we've kind of touched on already. You've got to be ergonomic on your mouse. The mouse has to be ergonomic, but there's more to it than that. So on your computer settings, there'll be a setting to control how far the mouse goes for any given input. It's kind of like the speed the cursor moves across the screen. So as you move your mouse, say, this far, then at one extreme, that might go the whole way across the monitor, but at the other extreme, it might only go a small way across the monitor. In other words, how much do you want to be moving your hand when working on your computer? Here's the trade-off. If you have, say, this much movement with your hand to go all the way across the screen, literally this much, you'll probably be more accurate because that's quite a long way, and so you can really precisely control it at any part of the screen, but then that's using more of your arm muscles, which could be bad for ergonomics. And at the other end of the spectrum, maybe moving across the screen, the whole way across the screen just like that, it's going to be more ergonomic. It's going to be easier for your hand because you're not moving it very far, but you may be less accurate, less precise. So for example, I currently have my computer set up like this. So that goes the whole way across the screen, and that works great for me, but maybe for you, you'd be more accurate by doing a bit more mouse movement. And there is no correct answer here. It's based on screen size, personal preference, and how you like to operate, how you like to work. I mean, I suppose the way to do it is have your mouse move as little as possible, but you still being as accurate as you need to be for your screen size. Naturally, the bigger your screen, the more pixels you have to be accurate around, and so you probably have to move your hand further. Well, you will have to move your hand further. I have quite a small screen, 1080p, because I do tutorials at 1080p, and so it just makes my life a million times easier. Whereas if you had, say, a 4 or 5K monitor or a dual screen setup, maybe 2 screens side by side, then I would have to change my mouse because that would I wouldn't be accurate enough just moving my hand this far, because that mouse, I move it about that far and it goes all the way across the screen, which is great for comfort and ergonomics, or comfort in particular. But if I had, say, 2 screens side by side or 2 4K screens, like, you couldn't be precise across 2 4K screens with that much movement. And so I would need to change the resolution sort of slightly. My point here is not to overlook this setting. Make sure it's comfortable enough so you don't move your hand any more than you need to, but at the same time, still make sure you're accurate. So have an experiment and see what works. Point number 3, represented by this guy. Oh, no, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. Point number 3, represented by this. Vibe, excitement, and inspiration. I am a strong believer that you have to be inspired and excited about the space you're working in. Now, there are many different ways to achieve this. If you're lucky enough to have a bit of a space to have things and move things about, then you can move things about and buy things and arrange things in such a way that they are exciting. That's one way to do it. If you don't quite have the luxury of having space, then the way you can do this is by, let's say you're working on headphones and a laptop, is you can move yourself about. So if you only have, say, a laptop and headphones, which is totally cool, lots of the biggest guys only have that setup, then instead of, say, getting excited by the space you're in, change the space you're in. So get your laptop, get your headphones, and go somewhere else. Go somewhere motivating. Go somewhere exciting. I think you need to be inspired by the space you're in, excited by the space you're in. And so that's why I do so many videos about my studio setup and me getting excited about where I place things and cables and all that sort of fun stuff. It's because it makes a big difference, not only for my creative and efficient output, but even just for mental well-being, I suppose. I've got to make sure I'm excited and inspired by the place I'm in. And so that's what this represents. Because it's pretty. It's a desk pad, soft and comfortable, supreme tracking performance, non-slip rubber base, water repellent, stitched edges, 900 times 440 times 3mm. And ice cream. It's just pretty. It's pretty and exciting, and this can be yours. It will be yours. I'll tell you about that in a sec. Giveaway. I'm going to give these away. Oh, nearly dropped it. Lol. As I say, that one's for me because I currently have this mouse, which I did a review about. It's the Razer Death Adder. It's the Razer Death Adder, which got literally all the best reviews in the world. I spent a lot of time reading all the reviews, and I checked all the reviews, and it's been a horrendous mouse. Fell apart extremely quick. Now it's super glued together, which isn't very exciting and inspiring. Do see my review on that mouse if you're curious. I think I called the review the best, worst, or the worst, best mouse. And I called it the worst, best mouse. The worst. Words are difficult. I called it the worst, best mouse in the world because it was called the best mouse in the world by pretty much everybody, and it turned out to be really bad. So the worst, best mouse. Anyway, not important. I have a new one now, which I plug in, of course, but that's probably you're more excited about this because this can be yours. Now let's talk about how you may. Over there. Let's talk about how you may get your hands on these guys. Now, there's 2 ways to do this: email or Instagram. I want to know what's the most exciting thing you've seen in music production recently. It could be anything from a specific technique or a resource or a particular sound in a track you've heard, or it could be a synthesizer, or it could be a bit of hardware, or even just a concept. I want to know I want to know what's got you most excited recently. Just one thing, and either send this to me via email at multiplier@multipliermusic.com, or if it's more preferable for you, go on Instagram, send me a message on there, include your email, and of course tell me your favourite thing in music production recently, or probably not even necessarily recently, just your favourite thing in music production, a favourite idea, technique, or resource you know. And then what I'll do, so that's why it's important to include your email in the Instagram, what I'll do in 2 weeks is collect all these and then send this list to everybody who sent me a suggestion. So not only is it a chance for you to get your hands on these, but it's also a way for you to pick up a giant range of music production tips, tricks, things, ideas, and stuff to get you excited. So that's going to be cool. As I say, 2 weeks until I pick a single person from the list, random styly. And then I will send you this mouse and a desk pad. Fantastic. I'm going to put this over here. My name is Multiplier, and I will catch you guys on the flippity flip.